Hello Year 9s. This week what we're going to do is we're going to do one part of our critical study. We're going to do the copy, which is on Jordan Andrew Carter, and I'll put these images and his name to remind you on the PowerPoint attached to Teams. So all I want you to do is first of all to pick one of his images. Now I've attached 3 of his images to Teams. But you can, of course, by all means, go on to the internet and find your own image of Jordan Andrew Carter's work. But can you please make sure, though, that you do pick one of his pieces that has a portrait in, because it has to relate to our theme, okay? So I'm going to choose this lady here. So I'm going to start off with the exactly same one how we did with our drawing of our portraits. And I would like our copies to be roughly A4. I don't mind if it's a little bit smaller than A4, but I don't want a tiny, tiny little copy kind of this size. I would like, as your Year 9s and the portraits that you've completed are beautiful, that I feel that you're all very, very capable to try and kind of go for quite a nice large portrait. So I'm going to start with the portrait size of the head being about this size, okay? So it's a little bit smaller than that because obviously I've got shoulders and everything to fit into. And I'm going to use the same method of bringing it down halfway here, drawing it up like so. I'm just going to move it that side so the light's reflecting on it, and then just rubbing out these lines there. And then you all know this, so you should be calling out as I'm doing it, halfway in the middle, so it's symmetrical, halfway for your eyes, halfway through the bottom of your nose, and a quarter for your lips, okay? Change the shape for the face shape that you're looking at, okay? So I've got a lovely old lady here, a lovely little chin here, so I'm just gonna change that bit into there. Now, she has a neck, which I can't see, so that's obviously, it's going to come in here. But she's also got, you can see, which I'm just going to draw in, just the kind of the top of her jacket. Now it's higher than where her shoulders would be. So her shoulders would be here usually, but you can see it's just that little bit higher. So I'm just going to very roughly sketch in where that kind of jacket top kind of goes. And then I can see it kind of comes down and around in here, and that kind of comes right down by the face and then in here, and she's got her top here. Now I'm going to, you can see it here, I'm just going to chop, I say chop, I'm just going to do that because I'm going to cut that bit off later, all right? And I'm also going to do that because I'm going to cut that bit off later, and I'm going to do that and I'm going to cut that bit off later, all right? So if you don't feel comfortable just doing that, do it with a ruler, all right? But I can see now that that is my copy and that is what I'm working with. So I don't get confused with my proportions and thinking, oh, it's an A4 page, so I've got to have those shoulders filling that. If the proportions, and you can see she only has that much of the shoulders in, then cut it, trim it, or just like I've done, scribble it off and go, yeah, now I'm really happy with that proportions because it fits in with the copy. All right, don't try and squeeze your drawing into the page. You put your drawing in and cut the proportions to fit your lovely drawing, okay? So one thing I did want to mention before I move on is, which I'll do very quickly here, if you are chosen someone who's, for example, this gentleman here who's looking and isn't looking straight on, I'm just going to quickly draw a face shape. When you start off with your proportions, you do exactly the same. So you can draw your face shape, and I'm going to draw my neck. But instead of your line being straight here, your line, you can see the middle, actually is like here, curves here. So you do it to where that person's looking. So that would come across here. Again, your eyes are still halfway, but then come round here. Your nose is still halfway, and your lips is still a quarter. But then you can see your ear then is in here. Your nose bubble will be kind of there, but you're kind of almost drawing it so you can only see half of that, and then you can then change that side of the face to what it is you see, okay? So just change your face shape, and you can see then his little beard would be coming off and around here, to the way that you are looking. I know that's really, really quick, but that's how, if you're approaching a drawing that's not looking straight at you, still use those dimensions, but you just need to use them in the way that, whatever direction that is. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's helped with that one. Okay, so going back to this lovely lady here, I'm now going to very quickly sketch in her little hairline. All right. So again, I'm not putting any detail in, I'm just, and she's got kind of funky hair coming in around, and then it comes off, and it comes into the collar, doesn't it? So that kind of comes off and around here, and then it comes off and down here. So then I'm going to rub out all of that which is underneath. All right. So that's her hair. And then what I can do is I'm very quickly sketching her proportions. So we know medium-sized bubble, 2 smaller bubbles, and then we can do the sides and curve them around and in here. Okay. Then we've got her little lips, again smaller, 2 medium, smaller in the middle, 2 medium, and then just put those in, kind of bringing it around like so. Now she's got all those lovely lines and that kind of chin coming in here. Just going to bring that eye straight, and then she's got her eyes. And so now we can see her eyes in there, but she's also got these amazing big orange glasses. So I'm just going to very quickly sketch in 2 circles, 1, 2, and you can see I'm not getting worried about any details at the moment. All I'm concerned about is getting in the correct proportions, and they kind of come off and around in here. So then I'm going to then build that bit in around in here, build that one into around in here. Now I can see already I've made a mistake because her glasses come way off around in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that curve further out around in here to bring that one out around in there. So I can then change it. So it's about just every minute just stopping what you're doing and just looking and go, right, have I got it correct? No, I haven't. We all make mistakes. Change it to make it look like it. Then we can shore it up, okay? Because we're going to be colouring this. So we're going to make sure we've got no pencil lines. Because remember, if we have pencil lines and we don't rub them out when we colour, we'll colour over the top and then we're like, oh, we can still see the pencil lines. It just doesn't make the drawing as professional and as of high quality as it can be. All right, so just taking the time to rub up pencil lines and shoring the whole picture up, which means getting rid of sketch lines, actually helps in the long run. Okay, so then I can start to look at these bits, look at her kind of chin, bringing that down. Now I'm just going to make her chin, move her lips down just a little bit, because I just noticed she's got much of a longer face. So bring that chin round in here, move her lips down, like so. All right, and then just start to, and once we've got that, and I can just start to look at making sure I've got all those little finer details. She's got her hair in around there, so rub those bits out there. Rub the nose bit out, bring that little hair in around in here. Okay, start to put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 into here. All right, I can then just going to put those bits in. You can see where her neck is, which is going to be really important for when I add the tone, because it's those kind of lines within it. And after I've done that and I'm kind of happy with my sketch, it's then about adding tone. So you're going to add tone to the face, and the rest is going to be coloured. Now, if you don't have any colouring pencils at home, or if you have other media such as maybe bits of paper and you think, oh, actually I might collage it, or you might want to paint it, fantastic, go for it. It's about whatever way it is that you want to go ahead and start to add in that kind of coloured and method. If you don't have any availability to any kind of types of colour, then what I would do is I would do that as a lovely tonal pencil, but you do need to show that contrast to show that that is a different style. So maybe do it as a kind of just outline it in biro. If you have felt tips, maybe colour it in felt tips. Work as best that you can do, but we completely understand that some of you have different materials at home to others, but all of you have and should be able to have a pencil and should be able to do a lovely tonal drawing. And so if that's the case, then just do that as a lovely tonal drawing and that'll be fantastic. But the face must be tonal. All right, and this is where you can use all that knowledge and all that expert that you've done on the previous one. One thing you do need to remember is, remember how I spoke about shadows in the tonal portrait, is that this one you're going to have your shadow from where your glasses are, so you're going to need to make sure that you understand that that bit does go showing that glasses is on top of her face, okay? And it's just about now kind of working it on, but also making sure we've got all those lovely wrinkles that almost shows wisdom and great character to the face, okay? So it's kind of working on the face and making sure you get all that lovely character that person has got. So I'm just going to do a little bit more tonal on here, so I'm just putting in, working it on. All right, maybe put some on the lips. So remember, it's darker to lighter on the lips, darker to lighter, showing that the lips are on top of one another, underneath, and then again just going to put the basic tone on the chin. Again, this is much darker because the chin's on top of the neck, so we want to show that we understand that the neck is behind that. And then we've got these bit here, you see, where it's got those little bits of highlights onto there, so I'm going to leave those bits onto here. Okay, again, darker underneath here. Bringing that onto here, and it's almost like I'm going to use a bit of mark making just to kind of show that kind of wrinkles, lovely lines that she has on her face. Okay, so once you've done her face as a lovely tonal, you then want to use your colouring pencils, your paints, your collage, and if you haven't got any of those, then maybe do the outline in a black biro for just the glasses, the hair, the jacket and things to show the difference. Or if you don't even have that, then do the whole thing as a tonal drawing. I'm going to use colouring pencils, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my blue splodges for my jacket. And what I will say is that I don't want to see anyone colouring like this, okay? Press nice and hard. Now, the great thing about this artist is that it is flat, bold colour, all right? There's no tone in it, so you've got that contrast, that beautiful tonal, realistic face with these bright, bold clothes, hair and kind of accessories as that contrast. So you want to make sure this is really vivid in your own copy. So you need to make sure whatever media is you're using to add that colour, if you can add that colour, you are showing that it is bold, flat colour. So that's why I'm allowing and saying, if you've got a felt tip, by all means use felt tips, because they're great to kind of bring out and show that contrast of that colour. Now you can see I have not rubbed out my lines properly, so I'm going to have this horrible kind of pencil lines underneath my red. So you don't want to have that, all right, because no matter what I do, I can't rub those out, and you want that bold colour to really come through. Okay, so this is what I would like you to do and complete for your task. So you have got a lovely copy of the artist Jordan Andrew Carter. You're going to do a lovely tonal face. I've chosen of one of his images, all right, and then the accessories, the background and the hair is then in flat, bold colour that you then use colouring pencils, felt tips or paints, collage, whatever media you have available at home to do with that. Don't mix the medias though. If you're going to do colouring pencils, stick to colouring pencils. If you're going to do felt tips, stick to felt tips. If you're going to do collage, stick to collage. The other thing is, especially with this one, you can see that the hair's white. So what you're going to need to do then is you will have to then colour the background in with that lovely dark blue to then show that the hair is white. Okay, now your pencil will need to be sharpened numerous times. Your hand will hurt, so then take a rest, take a break. Don't rush it, because it's then when you can start to see this beautiful copy kind of just, oh, I've just got a bit tired at the end. Take your time, go have a cup of tea, come back, finish it. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. I will put all of this onto Teams. If there are any queries or any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much, Year 9s.